Hello and welcome back to the Karmcast at the Rising Moon. Hey guys, today I have a pick a card for you. On this channel I do pick a cards with different focuses. Many of them are more geared towards healing. This particular reading is about third-party situations. Should you move on or hang on? Before I get started with this, I want to remind you I am not a romanticized reader. So I may be talking to you about someone's attachment style in the move on or hang on situation. It's going to be as realistic as possible. And remember that all forms of relationships are forms of karmic partnerships as well, the things that we can learn lessons from. So keeping that in mind for your third-party situation, and I'm going to keep it as real as possible, I have 4 piles and a pick a card. Take a moment, see which one really stands out to you. That is the message that you're most meant to receive about your situation. If the details of a pile do not fit your situation, don't try and make them fit. Not all readers can have a message for everybody, so it might mean that I'm not the reader for you or I don't have a message for you. Please remember that the other thing I do on this channel does have to do with my podcast, Logical Magic Examining Esoterica, which will help you heal your trauma, step into your greatest power, and help you manifest the life that you are hoping for. So please don't also forget to check out Logical Magic Examining Esoterica. Take a moment, you're going to have a moment here with just the cards. See which one really calls out to you, and I will see you at the time of your reading. All right, welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number 1, this is your reading. We're going to put the number 1 over there so people can easily fast forward to their reading, but there will be timestamps in the description box down below. Let's get going for pile number 1. Is this a move on or a hang on situation? What's really going on with their third party situation? Hey guys, before I get started, please don't forget to do things like subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like the reading. It's the thing that makes it possible for me to continue doing readings on YouTube. Please don't forget to do things like check out my podcast. And then I have a Patreon as well that gives weekly and monthly healing advice. We learn tarot in reverse, a couple of other things over there. So I hope you're able to check that out as well. For pile number 1, what's really going on with their third-party situation? Is it time to move on or is it time to hang on? Let's find out what the cards are saying. We had 2 leapers, so we got some information right off the bat. 5 of Swords in reverse. Hey, for me, that's really the card that's like the battles you know better than to engage in. With the Hermit in reverse, which is coming out of a period of contemplation, soul searching, leaving like solitude behind as well. 2 of Wands in the upright, which is a crossroads energy. I have the 9 of Swords in the upright, which is about fears, sometimes like subconscious issues. Occasionally it's cruelty as well. And then that comes out with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. We're going to do a spirit guide spread on all of these. I sometimes do an infinity spread. We're doing a spirit guide spread on this. So let's get into the 3D issues to start, and then we're going to go with the subconscious ones. It looks like you've really been kind of trying to figure out which direction to turn in this. That you have a fear of being alone, that you feel more secure when you're in a relationship as well. But the problem that you're having is that the person that you're involved with also has that same fear. You have kind of a matching fear set where they're engaging in a relationship. By the way, they got married for like, oh Lord. They got married or got involved in a high-level commitment, feeling pressure from the outside. They thought it was what they were supposed to do. They had not had they had not experienced a feeling of true love, and so they didn't really know it existed. And so that was part of why they got engaged in that. I need you to know just a little bit about this, is that their fears actually do impact how they portray their relationship to you. Now, that's completely normal. The old saying, his story, her story, and then the truth is always going to be a little bit true because of perspective on this. I have the High Priestess in reverse, which is things being revealed. Queen of Wands in the upright, which is like someone being very attractive, feeling some compulsion almost, being very, very drawn to someone. Hanged Man in reverse, which is a new perspective underneath my crossroads cards. These are the subconscious issues. Fool in the upright, which is a leap of faith. It's a new beginning energy. It's a moving forward energy. It is leaving the past behind, with the 3 of Wands in the upright as well, which is about opportunities and anticipation. I have the Knight of Wands in the upright with the Chariot in reverse, which is often about bringing something to an end. Okay, so because your partner in this is very fear-based, like they can go right up to the edge on something, but because of security issues, because they fear the world and the state of the world, it's really hard for them to go over the edge on this. Meaning that if you get enough emotional satisfaction out of the situation as it is, then hanging on would be the thing that you would want to do. But that my cards are kind of suggesting a move forward energy. As this person, because they got married for reasons of responsibility or because they were committed, because there's a commitment, there's a financial commitment involved in this particular situation. Again, if that doesn't fit your situation, then this is not your pile. It may be another pile, or it's possible I don't have a message for you on this one. But this particular person is locked into some security issues. If there are children involved, I'm not picking it up. I hope it helps you know they have real feelings for you. They're not, this is not somebody who's doing this as a game. This is somebody who discovered that there was a missing piece from their relationship after they had made multiple commitments that tied to this person to their security. Because it wasn't based in a real passion and a real connection, but rather a sense of, oh, this is what I do next. It's a very chilly relationship. Meaning that they don't have any real forms of connection. They don't like have this feeling of you're my person, but it's like almost like a seeing a responsibility through to the end on both of their parts. It's not a heated situation according to this. Like there's more silence than there is combat. The feelings are real, but this person is way, way too invested in trying to protect themselves from the exterior world, as witnessed by my Ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Three of Wands and the upright. I need you to know that if you decide, and like it's always important to take whatever you hear in a tarot card reading under advisement, to like not let the tarot make your decision for you, but to like kind of sit with something and think about it. Because this is showing that you have a fear of like being alone. And that it is one of the reasons that you accepted this person into your life in the first place. And that is not a judgment, it's just an observation of that is one of the motivating factors within this relationship. And that you don't end up alone, you have other opportunities for something. But that this needs to end before you move forward. Because you kind of have to examine the damage that it did to your ability to feel truly connected to somebody. Because there's a little bit of damage there. It tapped into some subconscious fears that, like, you know, maybe nobody was really ever going to choose you or love you. This person has real feelings for you. If you notice I am hesitating calling it love, it is simply because there's no cups on this table. There's wands, which are about fire and passion. I have lots of wands, but I don't have a cup to my name over here. And that doesn't say that has nothing to do with whether or not you're lovable. It's whether or not that person can access their love space for other people. Something in their own background caused them to fear truly being close to somebody. You've been really contemplating this. This has been really weighing on you. Part of it is that you don't really get to talk to anybody about it. And that really just makes you feel more and more isolated. That you're deeply, deeply in this, but you feel more and more alone on this one. Let's see what the Beach Time Soul, it's also called the Island Time Wellness sometimes. Cupid's Arrow, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting, hesitation. The Grim Reaper, this relationship is over. No second chances, grow and transform your life. That's a hard one. It can be a Scorpio card. It's not often a Scorpio card. Remember, death means the end of something, and this is an ending of something, always yields new life. It yields a new and a transformed way of being. So listen, hey, pile number one, I don't want to belabor this point. It's fairly obvious my cards are suggesting that you move on. Because even if this person were to bring themselves to be able to leave behind the financial security that their relationship has begun to represent, they have a damaged emotional access point. They just do. And that they will even... Some people don't fall deeply in love. They have too much damage around the concept over what they saw growing up. This is trying to tell you that you have a real love, the runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy and listening to ego. In a love reading, and things can go either way. They really can. And not all third-party situations are equal. Like sometimes, like people are just, they did get married to be responsible, or they did make a commitment, not realizing that real love was possible for them. So it's not always an equal situation. But your partner's deeply damaged in their ability to truly connect. And it is part of what is causing that kind of like almost like burr feeling in their primary relationship, that like, do they lie to you? Not exactly. They really don't. They really don't. They really don't. I think they want to be the person they tell you they're trying to be. I think they really do want that, but they would need to work on their internal world quite a bit. Unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and then falling in love. And this is what they're running from. So you're able to fall deeply in love. And the thing that is always important to examine within third-party situations, and this is where I'm not a super romanticized reader, is to kind of ask yourself, is there anything in my childhood that is influencing my choice in this? Am I trying to get a different outcome by recreating a scenario and being the one who's chosen this time? Because that is sometimes at play in third-party situations. People whose home life was disrupted by somebody leaving because of an affair partner, or somebody leaving because they weren't suited to monogamy, can create in that person this feeling, an abandonment issue that has them going towards people who are already partnered, hoping to kind of heal the wound that abandonment caused by being the chosen one this time. And unfortunately, it rarely works, because people, for yourself, it's time to take back control of your life. That's from the Romance Angels. We'll get one more on this. What happens after they free themselves? All right. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. Listen, I'm not getting a deceiver's energy here. What I'm getting is an emotional masking issue, where they really fear the idea of being very close to somebody and somebody really knowing them. And it's part of the reason that this started in the first place, is that they were able to connect to another person outside of their primary relationship. Is this person truly meant for monogamy? Not until they heal some things, because they'll always find themselves back here. The closer they get to somebody, the more they fear it. They've got their own issues. With separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So pile number one. Listen, I don't want to belabor this, and I try and keep these pretty short, and please, I'm so sorry if this is causing you any pain. My cards are saying you should let go. You should let go and move forward towards the real love that is coming for you, that would be available. When, we teach people how to treat us. And if we're remaining in the background and you're like, I'm not your first choice, I'm not your primary focus, then it teaches somebody that that's okay to treat us like that. And to just be a little bit aware of that. We're getting some messages of love in this. I need you to understand this has nothing to do with your value. This has nothing to do with whether you're lovable or desirable or the right choice. It's that this person has some damage that they don't even understand as damage. And so they can't really give real love until such time as they clear the old energy from inside of them and understand what keeps them from, this is the only way they feel really comfortable experiencing love, is when it's in that kind of, I can't quite get to it. And then when they have it, they're going to be afraid of it because they have fear of intimacy. Unavailable, this person is unable to give you all you deserve. New love, and then integrity. Does this situation align with your moral values? Hey, listen, I'm not going to make any moral judgments about third-party situations. I just know. They are not equal. They do not always indicate somebody having any form of moral failing. But it seems like this bothers you. It seems like this bothers you because there is something in your own background where, you thought it just could never, ever be you. And you're not being untrue to yourself by doing this if you're questioning that at all. It looks to me like you are engaging in that, hey, if being unaware that you're repeating a pattern and that it's a cyclical thing, and to not blame yourself for that, because energy does repeat in patterns. And that it would not convey worth to you if this person were to leave that primary relationship to go to be with you. You have worth that has nothing to do with this other person. And the thing that I'm being warned about here is they have deep-seated fears. They have deep-seated fears about true connection to another person. And where does that come from in their own life? From their own experience, from what they've seen, from their core memories. It's so hard because it personally hurts you, but it's not about you. It's about their damage. And then my cards are like, they're not going to get too specific on it because it's really genuinely not the point of this particular reading. But my cards are trying to tell you that, like, there's the real deal if you kind of examine and heal the reasons that might have attracted you to this situation. Does it perhaps mirror something when you were younger? Are you trying to seek a healing through recreation of a set of circumstances in which this time you're the person chosen? Because that happens all the time. It's not about weakness, it's about being human. Let's see with the Soul Helper Oracle if there's anything. We're not going to keep this long at all because it was a fairly straightforward message about, yeah, there's something better than this for you, and that this person is fear-ruled and very security-driven. And that if you think it's about them not loving you enough, it's not. It's about wounds that, like, it's almost like they have a disdain for that idea, by the way. That they have a disdain for the idea that their own experience formed who they are. I don't mind this person's energy. It's just that they're so closed off in their heart space that I can't come up with a cup here. The lotus within you awakens. You're a master of light on high. And then a partnership for the new age. With a difficult path is being revealed, and then a new strategy is required. This one always interests me because this person is find the path to love and happiness. It would hurt in the short term, but it would also give you an idea, and then recognize despair as an opportunity is what I've got on the outside. Processing your feelings around this would help you understand your real relationship to love and why you might have been accepting a situation that is not what you dreamed of, not what's really you've got a really good heart. You've got, like, you will invest so heavily in another person, sometimes to the exclusion of your own needs, and that is something to heal. Pile number one. Pile number one, I get it. This one's not going to be super powerful if you were hoping for, or no, positive for you, if you were hoping for a please hang on. My cards are saying it's time to move on, but that when you move on, focus on your healing, and it brings to you the real deal. And if this feels like the real deal, this person shuts down access to that part of themselves out of a fear that you can't talk them out of. They're very close-minded on the subject of emotional healing and emotional attachment styles, and they have a damaged attachment style. It is part of the reason that they became very committed to somebody despite not really being in love with them. And does that mean they can't fall in love? It means that they have a really hard time having emotional and physical intimacy within the same relationship. And that it would hold true for you as well, not because of your worth, but because of their damage. Hey, pile number one, I'm super sorry that was not like, the love story that we all hope for. But there is a love story for you on the other side of this. So if you need to book me for a private reading, you can do so at therisingmoon.com exclusively. I won't approach you in comment sections, try and sell you anything. I have a Patreon that helps people heal their emotional world as well. That is linked in the description box down below. Thank you so much for joining me. You have such a good heart, and you have so many opportunities and so many possibilities. Don't limit yourself to somebody who is letting fear rule their universe rather than saying, I can't believe this wonderful person loves me, Take care. Be well. Hi, welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number two, this is your reading. We're going to put the number two over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading. But there are always timestamps in the description box down below. So this is going to be a pretty swift moving reading. And the question is about a third-party situation. Should you hang on or move on? If you didn't watch the intro, I'm going to cover it here. I am not a super romanticized relationship reader, meaning that I'm going to tell you more about somebody's emotional damage and attachment style than I'm going to be talking about, true love. Usually, it depends on the situation. Watch, this is going to be the pile. It's all about true love. Let's wait and see. For pile number two, is it trying to hang on or is it trying to move on? The Magician in reverse is not the best energy to start out with because that can be a trickster's energy or a manipulation energy. We need to shuffle a little bit more on this, though. with the Queen of Wands in the upright, which is like passion, drive, being compelled towards something. Hey guys, if you need to book me for a private reading, you can do so at therisingmoon.com. And please don't forget to do things like subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, because it's really helpful for my channel. Let's keep going here. We're doing with the Spirit Guide spread, by the way. What else do we need to know about this situation? Because it's not starting off on the best foot. It looks like maybe there's been some altering of facts. Yeah, Prince of Swords in reverse, which is doing some research. The Sun in reverse, which is the need to heal something usually. Let's keep going here. We're going to go with the 3D and then explore the subconscious with the rest of this, with the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Listen, this is a Thoth deck, so that is marked with the word failure, but that is not what the Seven of Pentacles means to me. I'm a Waite Smith inspired reader. It's usually about a trust the process energy. Listen, the only thing that I have here that you need to be aware of is this person has damaged your ability to trust them already, because it kind of looks to me like you caught them telling a lie. And that there's a little bit more to it than that. So people lie for different reasons. Sometimes people have poor coping tools. A lot of the things that we really judge people for are simply like as a result of trauma and become poor coping tools. Six of Cups in reverse because of a difficult situation in childhood. So I need to talk to you a little bit about why this person lies sometimes, because they do. It is because they grew up in a situation where it was not safe to tell the truth, and so they learned it as a poor coping technique. I have the Prince of Wands in the upright, all the fire and all the passion in the world on this one. I like it. Nine of Swords in reverse, subconscious issues, deep fears, sleeplessness, worry. Five of Pentacles in reverse, which is an easing of a set of circumstances. And then the Eight of Cups in reverse, which is a returning energy. I have the Star in the upright, which is dreams coming true, and the Emperor in reverse, unfortunately. That can be an emotional abuser's card. Sometimes I call it a sociopath's card because it can be. This one's a little bit rough because it looks like there is a physical connection in this one that is just, it's really, really compelling currently. Now, the good news on that, or the bad news, or the good news and the bad news all in one, is that that burns out over 6 months to about 3 years. That part of what's is the passion and the drive that is really keeping you focused on this. But that you're already aware that this person does not always tell the truth, and it is a bit of a chronic problem for them. They grew up around emotional abuse. They have some abusive tendencies as well to try and avoid some emotional like connections and conversations, is that they will put the blame on the other person. And that they seem to be like conveying to you that you're being too demanding and that you need to be more understanding. You shouldn't sit on a shelf and wait for anybody to convey worth to you. If this person is suggesting to you that you're like trying to push too hard, you should pursue what is right for you. And if this person is shaming you or blaming you for having your emotional needs, then like consider what that's going to be like on 24/7 if they were to ever leave their person. They have done this before, and I'm sorry to say that, but they have. They have some issues with, they may not be meant to be in a monogamous relationship, which does happen. It does happen. Not everybody is. They can twist facts a little bit on this. You have not been foolish. If you think you've been foolish, you have not been foolish. When they're in the right space, they're one of the most charming people ever. And then it's just this whole Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, they make you feel super desired. And it helps with a feeling of a lack of worth that you experience. But your worth is never conveyed to you when somebody else wants you. And that to examine your own origin story, to be like, well, did somebody make you feel unwanted? Is that why it has that just a little bit too much power over you? Because in love readings, this can go both ways, and it does look like maybe you came out of a situation where somebody made you feel like you were not good enough, and that this person desiring you at the level that they clearly do makes you feel validated in a way that you have not experienced before. And like, this is why I give the warning about like, I am not a super romanticized reader on this, because I want people to be able to clear their karmic stuff to find their real people. That's why. That's why, because soulmates really exist. True love really exists. But we have to go through a series of karmic relationships so that we can understand ourselves and be in alignment with our highest self. And this person making you feel desired is taking the place of feeling loved. And just to examine that, because It's a need-based thing. And like, I'm not too worried about you. It looks like you're going to hang on, but that like that eventually you'll be ready to move on when the passion stops being enough. We have the Runner. This guy's a very popular card in this particular reading so far, which is the Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. Date, meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plan, set a date. The Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and changed mind with passion. Insane chemistry, liking each other equally, having fun, and we're going to take one more on this. Kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, and falling in love. Here's the thing. It looks like I could, it doesn't matter what I say. That what the cards tell you is that when the passion starts to run a little bit dry, that you'll be ready to find the thing that encompasses both. Which, the way you'll be able to tell if this is really your reading is you should notice that you feel super, super wanted and desired, but that like your emotional world is not something that is really being served by this particular connection. In terms of whether or not like there's a long-term future with this person, my cards are suggesting they have too much to heal and that they're not going to do it because this particular lifestyle kind of serves their own emotional construction. And I'm sorry, because I know that's not the funnest thing to hear when we're talking about, you know, what am I supposed to do? I'm going to grab a slightly different deck for you, which is Cosmic Insights as well. But we're going to go with the Messages of Love and then the Romance Angels and then that. We have finances. That so often happens, people remaining in situations for financial benefit. And I don't think it's yours. I think it's, you know, some people, and it's often not to be gendered, like it can happen with men or women, their primary and committed relationships are more about their security in this world, and then they have secondary relationships to have fun in. And it kind of looks like that's the situation here, is that this person has no true interest in putting all of the eggs in one basket. They like having the security of a primary relationship, and then they like having the, you know, the gotta tear your clothes off kind of passion that comes with the excitement of the third party situation. Soulmate, your soulmate loves and accepts you and respects you. Be careful with that one because this is showing that this person is prone towards disrespectful words and actions when challenged. And then I have boundaries. Firm boundaries are needed right now. We have leap of faith, which is I'm a keyword reader, so these rarely have much meaning to me. It's safe for you to make the move you're considering. I'd like you to concentrate on the word move in that. Listen, I don't think you're going to because like the passion's too much fun. But like it really will eventually stop being as exciting and as passionate as like, you know, the best sex I ever had. Concentrate on how this person treats your feelings. Whether or not they're dismissive of them, whether or not they get angry, because my cards are saying this person gets angry if you start like stating your own emotional needs. Like they shut you down like you're doing something wrong. Like, you know my situation type of thing. And that's a red flag to not ignore. We've got the Cosmic Insights because it contains a card that I'm wondering will come up. Open up your heart. It will help you attract more love. I would work on your heart chakra. Just type in heart chakra healing on the search bar on YouTube. It will bring back all different kinds. I like meditative mind personally and chakra vibrations. But start working on that with Spy. Someone's got their eye on you, doing more research. Hey, listen, the Page of Swords in reverse is a research card. I would suggest, I don't think I've ever suggested, hey, maybe take a really close look at some of the details that they've given you. I just have them being willing to bend facts to support their narrative. And again, because they, you know, the lying is a safety tool, is a poor coping technique. And we have one more. Pets. Whoa. Getting a new pet, giving a current pet more love. Now listen, the only thing I want you to hear from that one, because I don't think it has to do with a real life, you know, cat, dog, lizard. There is a earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. this is going to be such a hard thing to say. This card, if you like look at my readings at all, I do not like that card. It's an abuser's card. It's also the card of people with a personality disorder, and it's almost exclusive to men. And the problem is that some men, if they are deeply wedded to a patriarchal structure, view women almost like pets, like something, an object to acquire that is there for them when they want it, and then the emotional neediness of or needs of another human being just angers them, because it's like their dog suddenly becoming demanding. And I am not equating it to a dog. I'm just saying that this person's emotional construction, this runner's energy, that's a very typical thing in people with a runner's energy, is that they want what they want. This is a desire energy out of a situation, but that there's some, you need to set some boundaries with how this person talks to you. And if they don't receive it well, please take that under advisement as to where this relationship can go. Because it's not like they're going to transform into a different person. People don't change for another person, they change for themselves. This person has a big ego, and it does not look like they're super invested in the idea of changing for another person. My cards are saying that you won't move on until you're ready to move on, but that when you do, you will have learned some very valuable lessons about what to look for in relationships and red flags to spot. And that, in the meantime, just pay really close attention to those times that you're like, I think this person is lying to me. Because they do, they bend the truth, because they're in this to get what they want. And I'm so sorry. But I don't have a cup on this table. Cups are about love. The only ones I have are the Six of Cups in reverse. And that's in my underlying issues, the subconscious world. It has to do with a difficult childhood that I feel is present on both sides. We might be dealing with the empath narcissist paradigm, but I didn't get the card on it. There we go. All right, we have finances and career. Whoa, 2 on that. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. And then we want one more on this. You deserve love. You are lovable. I wish that you guys would give me a little bit more on the actual relationship. Your spirit guides are trying to tell you that to please only accept the people in your life who treat you properly. From jump, like you shouldn't have to insist on emotional safety with people. If you do, then that tells you something about like who they are at their core. And then I have attraction. You attract more love, romantic love, by enjoying this moment fully. So a little bit what's on my table is that like you're going to see this one through, because it really is just like in terms of when you do get together. But the cards and the guides are just kind of say, please be aware. Please be aware of this person's behavior towards your feelings, towards your own emotional needs, that they have a tendency to turn punishing when you try and state them, and that is not something that is going to heal as a red flag for an emotional abuser. That's an emotional abuser's card. And I'm sorry, because I never, ever want to hurt somebody when I'm doing one of these readings. But it is better to be able to be like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Because the other thing to remember is don't let tarot card readings make your decisions for you. But if you're receiving a message within a reading that you have been drawn to, there's something there for you to consider. And that my cards on this one are saying, hey, listen, there is something for you, but this is the lesson learned. This is the karmic relationship versus the soulmate connection. And that particularly to remember with something that might mirror a twin flame situation, that when we're out of balance, when we're willing to give and don't insist on our own needs being met, that we meet someone who is willing to take and does not actually honor our emotional world. And that the lesson in that is to learn how to honor our own emotional world when the person that we have feelings for refuses to. Pile number 2, I'm sorry, it was a little bit of a rough ride. Honest to goodness, I'm so sorry. If you want to book me for a private reading so we can look into what you need to heal, you can do so at therisingmoon.com exclusively. It's the only way to book me. I have a Patreon that helps people heal from the forms of damage and trauma that can exist from an emotionally withholding or punishing backstory in our formative experience. And pile number 2, I'm sorry, but it kind of looked like you had that, and that you may be being drawn to somebody who's going to be a little bit of a repeat pattern on you being shamed for having emotional needs, and you will not find happiness in that particular land. But in the meantime, kind of enjoy that physical connection, but recognize it for what it is in terms of it's good fire, but I also need the safe space and the person who cares about my feelings and the person who loves and understands me. And if somebody else won't choose you, sometimes you have to choose yourself, okay? Take care, be well. Hey, welcome back. Hey, if you chose pile number 3, this is your reading. The Cirque du Tarot is bringing you your predictive cards. We're going to put the number 3 over there so people can easily fast forward to their readings, but there are timestamps in the description box down below. There always are. So, like I said in the intro, if you didn't listen to it, I'm going to repeat it here because sometimes people just skip the intros. I am not a romanticized reader. I should probably end up tagging this as being blunt as you know what. If I swear, I have to tag it for profanity, so that's why I didn't just drop the F-bomb. But this is going to be a fairly blunt reading on whether you should move on or hang on. And this is a third-party situation, and should you move on or should you hang on? Let's get going here. Before we get started, please don't forget to do things like subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you like the reading. It's what allows me to do readings on YouTube. I have a Patreon that helps people heal their internal world and find the love that they want and need and desire. And that's linked in the description box down below in the upright. Oh, thank the Lord. Why am I saying that? Because when I picked up this pile, I was like, can this be about love, please? Because it's been a difficult one. The 2 of Cups in the upright is a soulmate connection. It is a real connection. So that we're starting off well for pile number 3. There's real feelings on this. This is a true connection, and not all third-party situations are equal. Sometimes people really did get, involved with somebody, committed to somebody, married to somebody, because they thought it was what they were supposed to do. And instead they end up meeting somebody and being like, oh, this is real love, oh God. And then really having to sort out their internal emotional world to figure out what they're going to do about it with the world in the upright, which is, yay, pile number 3, we're getting good cards here. Successful completion, new cycles beginning with the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. I have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which is an easing of a difficult set of circumstances being brought in from the cold. And it's coming out with the Knight of Wands in the upright, which is an action. Hallelujah. So pile number 3, you are my first hang-on. It's a real connection. This person has real feelings for you. What happened? Why are they it just burned out more than anything. They married someone at one stage, or they became involved with somebody at one stage of their life. They both grew in different directions. The feelings that they have for you are real. It's coming out with the 2 of Swords in reverse, which is clarity. They're having a little trouble figuring out how to move on and how to move towards you, but they do wish to. And there are no deep subconscious issues here that are about compensation or codependency or transference or any of that. I have the Moon in the upright, which is things happening behind the scenes, sometimes things being hidden. I have the 4 of Cups in the upright, which is another card of things happening behind the scenes. I have the High Priestess in reverse, which is things being made clear. And then I have the Queen of Cups in the upright, which is another one of my best emotional connections. It comes out with the Knight of Wands, so this is a balanced relationship in which there is passion, but there is real feelings as well. So, group number 3. My cards are saying it's worth hanging on. That this person is trying to sort through how to do something, but that they have a real feeling for you. It took them completely by surprise, by the way. Like, they really never, like, when they tell you, I never thought I would be the type of person, they mean it. We have the Knight of Cups in the upright, which is romantics, dreams coming true. And then I have it with the 10 of Wands in the upright, which is don't push too hard, try to relax, and things will happen in the time that they are meant to. But this is showing up as a real connection. And if you happen to also be with somebody, because these readings can go back either way. If it's your third-party situation where you're the person, the connection is real, the feelings are real. This person is very invested in not doing the wrong thing. But that they will, and that, remember, they're pretty stressed out about it because it's something that they just never envisioned having as a part of their life. But it does not appear to be bespeaking a need to heal some underlying issues. So pile number 3, this is a hang on and like love wins the day type of return on this one. Palm tree, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. so many people get into committed relationships for a feeling of security. And I believe that it could be on both sides here. This might be a double one. That both parties did. And then discovered something that had all the other elements. Girl talk, time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment and having fun. I'm going to have that with like, please, like in the meantime, like try to divert yourself from this versus I'm not getting this move on energy on this one at all. I'm getting the, you know, hey, if there's a little bit of a block here as this person like really struggles with, they're deeply invested in doing the right thing. And then I have the butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase. Healing the inner child and growth. With the dragonfly, be lighthearted, finding out, things coming to light, adapt, change, heal. Pile number 3. So my cards are like, hey, hang on. This one's real. This is not indicative of deep damage within. This is not somebody compensating for an emotional need to heal by engaging in an extra relationship, because we're very judgmental in society towards the idea of like people not being suited for monogamy, or people marrying and then realizing that, listen, I did this because I thought I was supposed to and it is not what I thought it was going to be, or simply growing apart. This person is not a chronic cheater. They are not somebody who is trying to compensate for emotional damage by surface level connection. This appears to be an actual soulmate connection. Let's check our messages of love oracle cards. And I am not encountering tons and tons of trauma that are like, there's no trying to compensate for childhood wounds in this one. This is really a very nice connection energy. Moving towards, it's going to take time though. It's going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of time. And by a little bit of time, it's going to vary from person to person because it's a general reading. The Ten of Wands is like, sometimes being too stressed about something. Divert yourself with some other interests and know that this person has every intention of seeing this one through. Unavailable. Hold on just one moment. Protected. Twin flame. Decision. I do not read these paragraphs below because I'm a keyword reader. These talk to me about like what's going on with something. And then we have wait, the timing is not right. And that's what I'm getting on this one, is that there's something going on in the person's life that it really is not the right time, but that the intent is there. That's what I'm getting on this one. We have new love and self-care. I do not think it is an exterior or a different person on this one. That in the meantime, focus on yourself, develop your friendships, because you're a little too focused on this person, and that's all. That's all. And that's unsustainable in a long-term relationship. We do need exterior connections, even when you're like, this person lights me up like nobody else ever has or ever will. But that the intent on this one is good, that the timing is not right, and that's why this person is not currently available. And that pushing on it won't do anything other than, leave you a little bit frustrated, leave you a little bit sad. Because the timing is an issue. Timing is an issue with this one. But the intent is there. And it's so good this one is, like, you're welcome to go and see the other piles, but this is the first one where it's stuffed with cups, which are about our emotions. Too often third-party situations have a lot of fire, but there's no, like when that burns out, we have to have an emotional connection with somebody. And does it burn out entirely? No. But what happens when we have this emotional connection with somebody as well is that the fire is real and sustainable. It's not a flash. It is a long-term thing. But there's something that, like, it might be a physical illness because there's something that's keeping this person from like following through on something, but they have every intention to. Intimacy, sexual chemistry, reminiscing. Intimacy is not just about sex, but it is about closeness. And we have, no, it's not the right time. You're getting, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. That like this person has fully good intent towards this, but the timing is off because of a set of exterior circumstances that they can't personally control. Vacation, you'll be traveling soon. The only thing I would like you to hear, someone else, someone in the middle or someone trying to sabotage this. Moving, change of residence, moving in with your partner on my back on this one. So, hey guys, and that's the underlying issues as well, which is what this particular row serves on. there's something that needs to be completed in this person's life before they can continue down any path of like serious connection in terms of formal commitment. But my cards are saying that even though the timing is not right at this particular time, that the timing is meant to be right. That this was, that the relationship that they're currently in was their karmic relationship, which we always have a series of karmic relationships that are about teaching us like what we need to address before we can have real connection. And that it may be both parties here, because honest to goodness, like there's a very strange vibe on this one. But that the committed relationship that this is an external party to has a block within it that has to do with almost like, you know, not sabotaging somebody even if you don't have the full set of feelings for them. And that's all I've got on this one, is that when the timing is right, that the intent is there to do the right thing. And you would have to know me for a reader to understand how insanely rare it is for me to be like, hey, no, hang on this one. Because I'm never in favor of sitting on a shelf and waiting for anybody. This person has the actual intent of following through on leaving behind the relationship that is not working and making the relationship that they are having with the third party work. Okay? And because in relationship readings the energy can go all ways, that's just something to keep in mind if you happen to be the person in the committed relationship and are like, what am I supposed to do? Examine the situation for why the timing isn't quite right and decide to act when that set of circumstances is resolved. Because like the intent is there, but there's a block and it does have to do with timing. Stay optimistic about your love life, positive thinking and faith. We'll bring you love. We'll bring you romance. I think you're being asked to like invest in this one with wedding. This situation involves marriage. Now that could be somebody being married, and then playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner useful spirit of fun to shine. You can put this on pause as you wait for the timing to be right as well. And that you really are being asked to consider like more connections with other people, making sure your friendships are strong. Because if we don't do that, if we don't like maintain these really good friendships and exterior influences, like even the best and the most romantic and the like hottest of connections can start to crumple underneath the weight. So the unavailable energy is like, it's just a temporary energy for me on this one. And pile number 3, I'm very pleased to say that this one has real feelings at the root of it. And that my cards are saying it's worth hanging on, but to make sure that you distract yourself in the interim so that you don't, like, because you have some anxiety issues, so that you don't tie yourself in knots, questioning whether or not it's the right thing, whether or not it's the right thing, whether or not it's the right thing. Sometimes we are being asked to dismantle a judgmental belief about what a situation contains. And I get a little bit of feeling on that one, on this one. Is that like there's a little bit of, it's also supposed to help broaden your worldview just a little bit about what these type of situations might really be about. Because it's not about heroes or villains, it's just about people and the fact that we all take a stumbling journey through our lives sometimes. But that this person has every intention of honoring the fact that there's passion and there's love within this. But that they can't justify destroying or dismantling or derailing another person to the extent that doing it at this particular time would actually entail. So that was my reading on that one, is it looks like it's worth for hanging on. If you want to book me for a private reading, you can do so exclusively at therisingmoon.com. I have Patreon where I help people heal their emotional worlds and a couple of other things with weekly and monthly readings. And then I also have a podcast, Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica, which also has all kinds of healing advice and magic advice and a couple other things if you want to check that out too. Take care, be well. Apparently you have a true soul connection. Hey, welcome back. If you chose pile number 4, this is your reading. We're going to put the number 4 over there so people can easily fast forward to their readings. But there are always timestamps in the description box down below. Before I get started for pile number 4 on a third-party situation, is it time to move on or is it time to hang on? Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. All those things are the whole reason that I'm able to do anything on YouTube. I also have a Patreon, Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica. And if you need me for a private reading, you can book me through @therisingmoon.com exclusively, and that is linked in the description box down below. But let's get going here. Been a very varied reading with a lot of different scenarios behind it. And please keep that in mind, is that, like, put aside all societal judgments on things. Things are personal, and like even well-intended people find themselves in situations where it's like, this was not what I envisioned my story being, but it is. Let's get going. What's the third party situation? You're a little bit slippery in my hands, my friend. This is the Edinburgh Tarot. Can you please tell me what's the situation with the third party situation here? I have the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. That for me is a trust the process energy. It can be a being discouraged energy. It's an investment of time. It's coming out with the Hierophant in reverse, which is a non-traditional relationship. Sometimes it's a divorce because the Hierophant in the upright is the card for traditional marriage. So think outside the box energy as well with the Ten of Wands in reverse, which is a releasing energy, a drop in your guard energy. What else do we have? We're doing a spirit guide spread on this. And we'll cover the 3D issues before we move on to the subconscious. Nine of Swords in the upright, which is subconscious fears. It can be cruelty, can be weeping, but I have the Two of Cups in the outcome. Which, whenever we're doing a relationship reading, this is the card you want. It's also in the background on this one is a lion, which is all about strength and power, which it's not often included on the Two of Cups because it's a water energy, and the lions are usually about fire. Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which is a draining situation. Can be a transactional relationship. Hey, listen, the third party situation here has real love in it. It resolves well. It's a bit of a journey to get there. It's a bit of a journey to get there, and the cards are kind of like, you need to let go of fears around this one in order for it to work out. Comes out with the High Priestess in reverse, which is things being made clear. If this person is married, I have a divorce in their cards, but oh my goodness, the divorce is looking colorful. With the Sun in the upright, which can be new beginnings and babies, by the way. It is one of the cards for babies. But it is a healing energy. It is a positive energy. It is the most positive card in the deck. I have the Lovers in reverse, which is being careful with our choices. The Lovers is not, for me, one of the soulmate cards. In reverse, right, that it really is about choices. This is one of those things where it really looks like there is a real emotional connection here, but that it's going to be like we walked through fire to get to the other side of it. And then I have the Queen of Wands in reverse as well, which is frustration and anger. So this is an interesting one. And remember, if the details of a reading do not fit your situation, don't try and make them fit. It's just not a message for you. I might not have one for you. That's why there's so many diverse and great readers on YouTube. The only thing I need you to be aware of is that dissolving the relationship, and it can go either way because it's a relationship reading, is going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and that it really will be, like, that person will be stressed out. There's anger on the other side of it that the person's going to feel very ill done to because they have a financial investment in, I think, being either supported or protected by that union. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse, lots of frustration on this one. With the Moon in the upright, I'm going to take a third one on this for the first time, Ace of Swords in reverse. It's all talking about a divorce and what happens in it, and just how the person on the other side who does not want to release the commitment is going to make it as hard as possible, and that the relationship that survives you'll have to learn how to deal with frustration and anger and feeling like you can't control the situation, because the person like bobs and weaves, the person they're trying to leave behind, and they go on the attack on multiple situations, and it really does have to do with like their idea of security being disrupted. We have meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plan, set a date. I'm taking the set a date from that because it really, I've got the need to dissolve a relationship, and that the party who considers themselves to be being left makes it as hard as possible. And then I have keys on a ring, many options, unconventional, string along. That's what I would say with that, is that like there's a court date, it keeps getting pushed. This person it's like they're trying to break the relationship, the exterior relationship, and that's their whole goal. Is like they know they can't save the marriage or the commitment, but if they cause enough problems that maybe it'll drive a wedge. Okay. And then I have talking, interested, conversing more, awaited messages arrive, text, call, email, and hovering. And then I've got one more on this one, and it's the butterfly. Relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. All right, so it looks to me like this one is dealing with the dissolution of a marriage and that steps will be taken in that direction. But who doggies, does it ever get colorful? And that, you know, if there's a part of you that thinks they're doing this on purpose, yeah, it's a jealousy issue. This is the other meaning of the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is jealousy, is that they are motivated by jealousy. They actually were a really jealous person as well. They did things like I have a feeling that the person in the third party who has a committed relationship got caught because this person is so jealous. And it's actually also the thing that drove this person to look for a real connection. That they're highly motivated to keep this other person from experiencing joy, happiness, and a new beginning because they're very possessive of that person. But that, you know, if you stay the course, it works out. We have passion. You can read these paragraphs if you want. I'm a keyword reader on it. I have good passion on this one, but it's also feelings. Regret. Whew. Support. I really, there's a financial thing with balance. You're welcome to read these. Somebody makes the dissolution of a relationship just hell on earth. And that's the only way I have of putting it. Is that if you feel like your relationship can stand the test of many external pressures that are brought about by somebody who they're not taking it well. They're not taking it well. They're going to attack the third party really hard too. Like really hard. And it is a jealousy issue. It just is a jealousy issue. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. We have passion. Echo, echo. That can be fiery feelings and anger as well. So give me just a moment with that. The only thing I've got on this is that like the third party, the person in the committed person relationship, because it can go either way in relationship readings. All you have to really know is that like there's enough to sustain the current connection, but it will be altered by how much external pressure comes through it. It will be made stronger through that over the course of time. But that if there's a part of you that's really invested in the love story, know that it's about to walk through a minefield created by this other person who's very, very guided by their jealousy. Release your ex. Oh, yeah, it's the ex. It's the ex. The ex is, okay. I don't think they're quite an ex yet. Keep an open mind, and then we have stay optimistic on the back. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. The keep an open mind on that one, I do not think it's a different person. I don't think it's a different person. I think you're being told that, you're being warned that, hey, listen, you're going to feel like you had to fight a war to win this particular connection. And that it is so intentional on the person. If you keep asking yourself, why won't they let go? Why won't they let go? Because they have a form of jealousy attachment. And so they view this person as like, I'm not going to say a meal ticket, but certainly as like a source of security and as mine, no one else can have you. So we've got that energy on the other side of an attempt to dissolve something. And it does have to do with wounded pride. That's another meaning of the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This one's another hang-on one. It's a little bit harder than the other pile in this particular reading that said that. But that I would urge you not to go and select a pile that has like, what's got a better outcome? It is much better to know, hey, listen, this is a brawl. There's upset and anger and so much anger and like a lot of so much anger on the side of the person who like is going to take out every single abandonment issue they've ever had on the dissolution of this particular relationship. And that it will show you that your relationship can move past the love, joy, connection, and passion of this is a love story into, oh, we can endure. If that's what you want. and that it's okay if it's not what you want. If you're like, yeah, that does not sound like something I'm super interested and invested in, I have it as an actual, this is one of my cards for soulmate connections. And that the person who is being left behind is very, very ego driven and very, very, like they're just gonna, I don't want to call them like going berserk or something, but like they're gonna use potentially children against this person, and that they're really not well behaved. Half the time when I'm doing any type of third party thing, I have to always say, hey, listen, they're not telling you the truth about their primary relationship. This person is doing their very, very best to convey what their primary relationship is really like. That this person, like, they may have a personality disorder. It's not narcissistic personality disorder, it might be borderline. But they're having a disproportionate response to the idea of blame and anger and how dare you decide to leave me, I'm going to destroy everything that I can touch. And I don't care who I hurt doing it. And that's the only thing to be aware of, is that like this person's not going to go gently into that good night, and that there'll be a period of recovery in the aftermath. And it might actually really be a good idea, if this gets as heated as my cards are suggesting, to consider some form of relationship counseling for the relationship on the other side of the connection that someone is leaving a commitment to go towards, simply because it's going to put a strain on there from jump. Now, the good thing about that is you can draw together and understand we can weather anything together, and we still love each other, and we have found out that we can endure, and that it's all very real. But any romantic, pink bubble that has surrounded this connection, somebody's out there with a great big hat pin ready to pop every bubble that they can find. You're caught up in drama. I would say that. It's borderline people. Now, by the way, people with borderline personality disorder are not evil. They just need treatment. But until they get it, they really do create a lot. They like drama. And that's what I'm getting from this person. A very draining person. Act for yourself, change, and blossom again. And I have one more on this, flames of desire. Listen, normally passion, desire, that's all great stuff. If I could describe to you how angry the feeling on the other side of this is, it gives me chills, because the person has lost all perspective. With protect what you love. So the only thing that I would urge is to remember that the person being left is having a giant, oh my Jesus level of ego reaction. And that they're going to take a scorched earth policy towards everything. And that whoever is the party leaving, like, be prepared to, the old saying from The Godfather, go to the mattresses. You have to go to the mattresses on this one from jump. If you expect this person's anger to die down, if you expect this person's pettiness and punishing energy to die down, it's not going to. It's tapped into damage that has absolutely nothing to do with this actual relationship. And like I said, scorched earth on that. But be prepared for that, and just... It's super important not to let a tarot card reader make your decisions for you. It just genuinely is. But that it will be over sooner if because the person leaving has guilt. It's not shame, it's guilt. Like, they know this person is volatile and they have a lot of concerns. If they give themselves permission to be as cold as possible and give as little back, and to meet the energy instead of being like, it'll burn out, they'll calm down. They won't, because it doesn't just have something to do with this relationship. And that because they're going to be out to ruin reputations anyway, to fight back. Just to fight back. And that's going to be the best plan. We have fire sign, yet another passion energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Too much fire in these situations when I'm picking it up from the dissolution side is concerning to me. Gambling, problems with addiction or gambling, bad finances. Now, codependency is a form of addiction, and I would describe the person in the relationship as being exceptionally codependent, and that's why they become so furious. And then we have commitment. We want one more. It's codependent one, and then confession, and then sexuality, which is about passion. Someone is still figuring themselves out. They have unhealed stuff. They just have unhealed stuff. So for hang on, but strap in. Hang on, but strap in. And that to, like, maybe if you're having trouble talking the person who is doing the dissolving away into, listen, they're not going to calm down. It's not going to burn out. They're not going to meet somebody new and stop being the way that they're being. Like, maybe have them listen to this pile or something. Because that person, it's because it is not strictly related to this relationship, but to unhealed wounds from childhood, they will not, it won't be like when they get angry, where it's like it didn't happen 5 days later, because they've got a pattern of that. They will be able to sustain a level of anger that is just really, be prepared for it, and don't let yourself get scorched, type of thing. That's an interesting one, pile number 4. It's a real emotional connection. There's a real love, but it looks like getting out of the commitment. The person who is committed does have every intention of doing so, but they need to be prepared for the lack of reason and accountability that they will encounter on the other side, okay? And that, you know, to set the shields to maximum as you go full speed ahead, okay? That was what my reading was saying on whether you should hang on or move on. Hang on tightly, because the seas are going to be bumpy as you go towards a new life. Take care. Be well.